For what? Hi, well, welcome back. Welcome to another video. Welcome to my April reading wrap up and May TBR. I have been in such a reading slump since moving, so I'm very happy to be making this video and having a video to make, which means I'm reading again. I'm so excited, and I'm just like, I have this newfound love of reading after really diving into it. Like at the end of the month, I'm just like, oh my god, I'm so excited again. I want to read 24/7. So you will be seeing a reading challenge video soon. It's in the midst of all the things, but let's just focus on today's video. Come on. Okay, let's start with April's reading wrap up. The first book I read was actually pure audio. I do not have a physical copy of it, but it was the first book in the Thursday Murder Club. So this is where I'm just like, it went so downhill. It's essentially about this group of older people that will get together on Thursdays and kind of solve like old cases, but a current case comes to their attention where now they're wanting to solve this mystery. And I think I really needed to be reading the book to get it. I think it's multiple POVs. And the audiobook, I had a hard time following that. I gave it 3 stars. It was good. I think I just love murder mystery, true crime, all of that, to where I will want to continue the series, but I think I need to do it just reading it physically, because the audiobook just made it hard for me. I was not focusing on it as well, so to me it kind of just felt like this podcast in the background, and that wasn't good. So I really don't even I couldn't really grasp all like the plot twists and the discoveries that well. But I think people would enjoy it if you just read the physical book. Let's just move past that book. The next book I read was A Discovery of Witches. Guys, this book, I mean, it's thick. Like, it looks thick, right? It's nearly like 600 pages, but like the font is so small. This book took me forever to get through, and part of that was just me being in like a slump, so I wasn't wanting to pick it up all the time. Even though like when I would pick it up, I'm like, oh, this story is like so interesting. But I just couldn't. That's reading slump for you. Okay, I need to focus. This book. I'm terrible at describing things because I could just talk about it forever. But essentially, you're in this world where it's like our world, but there's also witches, vampires, and demons. And it's the acknowledgement like they're here, they're around us, but they're not just like out here like, hey guys, I'm a witch. Spell. Like, that's not how it is, but it's just like you're definitely living in that world. And it follows Diana, where she is a witch and she comes from a long line of witches. Like one of her family line is like, I think her great-great-grandma, great-great-great, I don't know, along the line is Bridget Bishop that was killed in like the Salem witch trial stuff, you know, like girl goes way back. And so that bloodline though is so powerful. So her parents were killed, and she believes like they were killed because of like humans and witches, and so she's like, I am never gonna use my powers because that's gonna get me killed. So she goes through like her life being an amazing scholar, and what is she? It's like alchemy. I think she's like going through old manuscripts, and like it's just so interesting, and it's very academic. So if you love that scenery, like you'll love it. And so she's just doing that on her own. And then Matthew comes in as another professor, and obviously like the love interest. He's a vampire, God forbid. And so, but she's like, vampires, stay away, no. But he's interested because she called a manuscript. A certain manuscript that's like long lost amongst the witches, vampires, and demons. And they're like, how did she get it? What's going on here? So now all these creatures are very interested in her, Diana, and Matthew is like, he's interested in it from a vampire standpoint, but also feels this need to like help her and protect her. And it's just very interesting. So you're following along like those two figuring out how to live in the same world together, and she's discovering more about like herself, her family. Why is everyone interested in this damn manuscript? Wait, I actually maybe can't seriously. And like I can actually get along with a vampire, and it's just so interesting. The very academic setting I thought would be really terrible. Like once I saw that they were like diving into a lot more like academic stuff, but looking back, I think it was really enjoyable. I gave this 4 stars, and the 4 stars is because it was so long that I felt like some of the academic type things that they were including here did not need to be included. I don't know, I liked most of it, but some of it I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm really just trying to get through this to like carry on with the plot. So 4 stars, I definitely recommend. It's a trilogy. I will definitely be continuing this trilogy. My friend bought me this book, so if you're watching this, thank you so much. It was so good. I definitely enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to continuing this trilogy. The next book that I listened to and read was I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. Oh my god. Okay, so it's like weird because like I don't want to be like, this is an amazing book, because it's like the content in it is not good. But I listened to her tell her own story. Like if you're gonna read this, you need to do it with an audiobook. It just really helps you grasp the story so much better. I mean, if you don't know, I mean, it's Jeanette McCurdy is writing about her story and her life and her experiences growing up, and like what her mom was like, and like what she's realizing now about that relationship, and then her experiences on like Nickelodeon and just the industry. She just told this so well, and hearing her tell it just made it that much better and like just stick that much more. I'm not gonna rate this, it's her story, that's weird, but I definitely would recommend this for anyone that just like followed iCarly and knows Jeanette McCurdy. Like if you're interested at all in this and just hearing about a young actress that grew up in the whole Disney Nickelodeon scenery, I think you would enjoy this. Tequila Kingdom is the next book that I read. Okay, let me try to describe this without giving away anything that's like could potentially be a spoiler. So you're following Princess Lyra. She is a princess in the sea. She's a siren. Think of that as the mermaids that we picture. I say that because like mermaids are described in here as like these very ugly creatures, but to us, like in our world and like movies and TV shows, like mermaids are just like these beautiful sea creatures. That's what Lyra, that's what she is. And so she wants to become the next queen. Her mom, the worst, punishes her, transforms her into a human, gross, and tells her that she has until the winter solstice to bring her back a prince's heart, a specific prince's heart. Princess Elian? So sorry. And if she doesn't do that, then she'll remain like a human forever. That prince, human prince, is the prince of Midas, you decide, and he doesn't want to be like a king. He doesn't want to be royalty, but he's birthed into that world. He loves the ocean. He loves captaining his boat, his ship, and they call him like the Prince Pirate. So think of this as like a sort of mermaid retelling, like The Little Mermaid. Love that for us. So he is a siren hunter, because essentially the whole story of the sirens and humans world is that long ago the sea queen was murdered by humans, and ever since then every siren on their birthday has to kill a human, like get their heart. And so that's why the prince is like, I'm saving our kingdom and all the other kingdoms around us by hunting down these sirens and killing every last one. So you're navigating those two. Obviously, like, she needs his heart, but she has to like live in this world. Like she can't just go up and take, like, she does not have like the same strength and power that she had as a siren. She's now a human. And so you're navigating those two, like learning more about each other. She's obviously learning more about the human world, and she's trying to, I mean, at times like protect the sirens and like stand up for the sirens, and he's like, you're human, why are you doing this? But okay, so I was like, you're just navigating those two, figuring things out, and her just like learning more about herself. It was just so interesting. I really enjoyed it. There is a second book coming out at the end of this year, so I'm glad I read this. I will definitely be reading the next. It was a quick, easy read. Very, very easy to read. Like, the writing just made it that way. I like that. What was my rating? Yeah, 4 stars. I mean, 4 stars because it's not just like, oh my god, I'm obsessed with this book, everyone needs to read this. You know what I mean? Like, if it's a 5 stars, you know. But 4 stars, I do recommend it. The last book I read this month was Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. This book was definitely on my radar for a long time because of Sarah Caroli. She raved about this book and I was like, well, it's on my list now. Like, okay, like she just seemed that excited. And I was doing this where I was like reading this at night where I'm like, I am gonna fall asleep in 5 minutes unless I have like a thriller type book. So I picked this up. I'll just say now, what did I give it? I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed this book. Like, it was easy to read because you're getting multiple POVs and just because of how short those like chapters are, like you just want to keep going. You want to see what's happening. You're just definitely immersed in the story with the way Alice Feeney writes. You get plot twists, obviously, at the end. I don't think I guessed any of them. I kind of tried, kind of not, but like I didn't guess any of them. But I gave this 4 stars because I feel like by the end I just was not as invested in it as I was at the beginning and like through the middle and like through the first plot twist. I was just like, I remember the first plot twist and I was like, what? Like, and then by the end, like as more plot twists and stuff were happening, I was like, oh, that's surprising. But I just wasn't as like invested in it anymore. I don't know. So 4 stars. I definitely recommend the book. I think it's really good and I will be reading more of Alice Feeney. I love her writing and I think that her thrillers are probably just always going to be like this. So more Alice Feeney on my radar for sure. I feel like you just can't say too much about a thriller. Oh, maybe I could. I didn't even tell you what it's about. Why am I saying that? It follows, okay, what's their names? Oh my god, this is ridiculous. I'm just gonna read you the ensign real quick because I don't want to say anything wrong and accidentally spoil something. Things have been going wrong for Mr. and Mrs. Wright. It's literally like W-R-I-G-H-T, okay? For a long time. Every anniversary, the couple exchange traditional gifts, paper, cotton, pottery, tin, and each year Adam's wife writes him a letter that she never lets him read, until now. Self-confessed workaholic and screenwriter Adam Wright has lived with face blindness his whole life. He can't recognize friends or family or even his own wife, and Amelia is sick of feeling unseen. When Adam and Amelia went a weekend away to Scotland, it might be just what their marriage needs. They both know this weekend will make or break the relationship, but they didn't randomly win this trip. One of them is lying and someone doesn't want them to live happily ever after. It says 10 years of marriage, 10 years of secrets, and an anniversary they will never forget. Boy, ain't that the truth. That's all I'm gonna say about it, just exactly what they offer you. I don't want to accidentally spoil anything for you because I really do think you need to read this book. Okay, now on to the second part of this video. I really just want to include this because I love watching them. So I figured wrap this up into one video. I didn't have that many books to talk about in April. That's all of my reads. Let's move on to my May TBR. Guys, look at this. I'm so excited. Okay, so I'm not going to say anything about the synopsis of the books. I'm just going to quickly go through what the titles are and such. I'd rather save that for like the May reading wrap up when it's like I read the book, these are my thoughts and emotions and all the things. I'd rather like feel it then, you know? So first up, I'm reading the second book in the ACOTAR series. I loved the first book so much and I've just been waiting to pick up the second one. So here we are. It's now. We need to do this now. The next book is the Atlas 6. I believe this is just a duology. I know the Atlas Paradox came out this year, or maybe it's December. I don't know, recently. So I'm gonna pick up the first book. Look how pretty this is. Like, ugh. I mean, it's giving dark academia and I'm here for it. The next book I really want to read is My Year of Rest and Relaxation. This is definitely not a book I usually gravitate towards, but I am here for it. Like, I've just heard this is a book that everyone should read. So why not read it, okay? I'll do it. Next up is Dear Erin. It's a Mariana Zapata book. Guys, if you have not watched previous like reading videos, I read All Roads Lead Here and I am obsessed with that book. Ugh. Mariana Zapata has my heart. So I'm looking forward to reading this. I think it'll be good. We'll see. But yes, Dear Erin, it's time. Magnolia Parks. Okay, guys, I'm terrified for this book, but I mean, I'm going in now with like, I'm okay with the toxicity of this. Yeah, I can't say I recommend any of these books at the moment because I haven't read them, but I know this is a very hyped up book. A lot of people love it, a lot of people hate it, so we'll see where I fit on that. But Magnolia Parks, book 1, we can do this. Next is Happy Place by Emily Henry. She just released this book. I was at Target, I had to do it. It's pretty, it's pink. I don't know what about it, but I need to read this book, and the people that I have seen read it so far have just raved about it. So I'm excited to read this. I think it's gonna be a really good like summary type read, so I'm looking forward to it. And then the last book I hope to read this month is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. Guys, this book is so pretty. Ah! It's so gorgeous. So yes, I'm excited. It just looks so gorgeous. And anyone that I've seen like read this have enjoyed it, so I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so that is it for what I read in April, along with what I want to read in May. I'm so glad to be back into reading. I feel like I say this in every reading video, I swear, but it just feels good. I feel like when I take breaks from it and I'm in this slump, like I don't feel good. And when I get back into it, I'm just like so happy and I feel like I'm living my best life. So I have all these amazing books that I am so excited for every single one of these. Don't know which one I'm gonna pick up first. I'm starting a new book today. Today's May 2nd. I can't wait for my May reading wrap up. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Look forward to book content. It's coming. Look forward to more videos. I have them all lined up. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next one.